5 games, 5 different Victory Royale teams coming out on top, just going to show that it's honestly anyone's game at this point.
That's right, and we've seen so much new attempts and ways for this to all play out. We gave the players time to go ahead and think about how they want to strategize, but here it is. Let's see if it was all worth it. Game 6 is in front of us. Once again, let's make some noise for our players as they take board the battle bus.
And that time that you were talking about for preparation has run out. Everybody now taking their position on the map. We've seen wonders over towards Chrome Jam Junction. We've seen so many fights go down towards Fort Jonesy as well, but honestly, interesting enough, neither of them involved these 2 teams going at it off spawn.
Not only that, the coast has 2 teams as well, so there's so much going on in this area, and we've seen it play out a few times now, round after round, but this is a first take at Clix and Duke not necessarily being right on top of their opponents, pinking and off there. They've given each other some space, and this is, you know, honestly, last game vibes are here. It just makes sense. Everyone wants to take it slow and try to play this one out.
Yeah, that's respect to them too, because they know the position that each of them are in. You know what I mean? If you go ahead and take that fight and it doesn't go well for either one of you, that's kind of throwing away that game. So they want to split the loot and try to get more on their path to the center of the zone. But just like very many games before, we're going to have a little bit of a northern zone, which looks like it bode well for Queasy and Vino yet again.
Can you believe Smite and Larson are in 3rd place being contested at the Grim Gables? What a way to play some Fortnite today for them. It looked like it was all over when you viewed the paper and you crunched the numbers, but they have really turned all that lemon into lemonade.
Yeah, I believe they lost game number 1, but I think that was the game 1 jitters of an international stage.
That's
the
right.
First in-person Fortnite event in quite a long time. They shake those off, and they're rising to the occasion. NA East, best hope right now to close out day number 1 with a top spot. You can see Vico over towards Reality Tree. Lost Bride pretty early, and that was Retake and Novice who also land over here.
Hey, listen, I'm from the Bronx. I know all about being scrappy. Vico and Moran are clawing their way up out of the mud here, officially breaking back into top 20 with those 2 elims right there. That's a big point swing for them. It's going to mean all the difference. What's wild about these 2-day formats is anything can happen right now. We have seen teams just in this bubble area range jump all the way back up. You have to stay consistent. Larson and Smite get defended off of their drop effectively. They're pushed out by Muzz and Looter. So that fight will continue. We jump on over to Savage and iDrop versus Bakken on 1.
Not that 50-50 we saw before. This one's going to be a little bit prolonged, and I think that kind of sits a little bit better for iDrop and Mr. Savage, simply because iDrop knows this POI like the back of his hand. He knows exactly where to get the loot. He knows where a lot of the chests are. He knows every single thing, and he also knows any pathing in order to disengage in a lot of these fights, but it does look like the TSM duo, Epic Well, strikes first, taking down Scented.
That's a big elimination right there, as well as Scented and Cold, and one of the few NA East teams inside of that top 10. And for them to fall to the hands of Epic Whale just around the Tilted Towers is definitely not a part of the plan. Marine finds Falconer in the feed there, but Peterbot and Jamper looking to continue their battle here. We talked about these contested coastal battles, and now we get to see it unfold for the first time from the beginning.
Going up against Jace and Basil. So this is going to be an interesting one, because sooner or later you cannot continue to go down. The chest is down there, and that's where Basil's at, and he's actually just trying to get out. He's trying to escape. You already know that he lost his teammate, trying to do wonders as a solo and finish off the day strong, because that's the thing. FNCS NA East Chapter 3 Season 3. After day 1, Commandment and Avery were in 9th place. Day number 2, they had the comeback for the age to take the top spot, as Peterbot takes the elimination, but flies high to the
drop. They turn that into a monstrous endgame, and now they're clawing back in. Savage already down. iDrop.
Can they do it?
In the mix here. Actually, Savage is on the run right now.
Oh, he's going to be able to get out alive, but On1 and Baka want to chase him. There's so many other teams in the mix as well, including Brazil's very own King and Ed, who where they're at in the leaderboard right now, they want to start getting aggressive. They want to take the game into their own hands.
Ed and King here, trying to do something big. We haven't quite seen them put up the numbers on showed yet. You can see right there, King attempts to hit some shots, but does fall slightly short. And now options in front of him. Does he go for the duo below? But no, instead he's going to go and hunt down the solo. This is by far the better play, but the reboot is starting to come out for Mr. Savage. Will he get eye drop in time? King arrives just there to maybe play spoiler.
But again, this fight over towards Cloudy, it's those same two teams, while Malibuca and Mustache are always trying to find an angle so that way they can get the damage they need for Storm Surge and try to get out alive. And I think Ed even found Peppo somewhere, but no, they're actually chasing down Mr. Savage, and they're going to clean that one up. That is huge.
And King get their first 2 eliminations onto Mr. Savage and eye drop here in game number 6. Huge deal for him right there. And lucky for us, we are hot on the replay. Take a look there, out the sky. Ed wastes no time. He says, King, you might have missed some shots before, but I got your back.
That was a huge outside of the box play. They could have easily pushed Mr. Savage, got the elimination, and got 2 points. Done, over with, easy. They allowed Mr. Savage to get the reboot off, got the elimination on eye drop, got the elimination onto Mr. Savage, and got 4 points instead of 2.
That's right, way to play big there, and they need it.
Big brain play.
Back to Larson and Smite. They could have left this battle, but they've won so many times already. They decide, hey, let's stick around, let's fight Muzz and Looter. Ooh, a big 86 on Looter as he tries to go on up. Smite was waiting with the side angle there. Larson now has just enough time to get back with Smite. They're going to be trading minis here. As you saw, Larson's inventory was definitely short. Here it is, that little exchange, the material count too.
And honestly, if you're Smite and Larson, though, winning every single one of these fights except for game number 1, you have no reason to leave. It's up to Muzz and Looter to try to change up their plan while you have a hot Larson and Smite on their heels. Zagu is going one-on-one with Hellfire. This is for a huge finish for Zagu because right now they've skidded just a little bit down low on the leaderboard, more than they would like.
And what's crazy about this is how the region plays. This is how Asia gets down. They will W key. They play aggressive, they play fast Fortnite. And although it has been a day of performance and end games for Zagu and Marine, this is where he does best. Put him in a one-on-one, put him in a head-to-head, and look at how quick he is able to capitalize. No, shots come in from the distance. It's not looking good. He's gonna have to pause down here. He does have some white heals, but that will kill all the momentum, unfortunately. It's Commandment and Avery with a dual angle here.
And you can see where are this strategy, landing over towards Rave Cave. They're trying to go to the slower side of zone. They're trying to go as far north as possible, but they're gonna go east first before they make that happen, trying to clean up a quick elimination, or what they think could be a quick one at that, but the shots continue to come in. Storm doing work as well. It's only a matter of time as Hellfire is gonna be able to clean that one up.
Hellfire slides in and down goes Japan's best there. Zagu and Mareem sent back to the lobby, back to the drawing board to rethink for day number 2 of the FNCS Invitational. That's how quickly things can change.
Yeah, Hen was already down. Now they're just trying to find the second half of that duo. Joe and Zandy, one of 5 teams to get a VR on the day. But Vico somehow took down Avery. They were waiting. They were trying to hunt down the team, and it was them who ended up getting hunted. But Joe and Zandy, they don't want to let this team out of their sight. They have at least 1 elimination against players from 6 different regions. That's the most of any duo, and that goes to show how adaptable they truly are.
That is right. Vortex is a solo. As we touched on, Hen is out the lobby. You can see the look of focus on his face here. He recognizes, oh, big read there. He finds a med kit right in the nick of time. He should get it off with about 2 HP left. That's going to be a huge save for him. Meanwhile, Sensen and Cold now making their move. Like we said before, they have been somewhat contested, right? Their draw spot. Maybe not going head-to-head against Pars and Raze there, but possibly trading out some loot. You can see it kind of coming into effect here as the loadout's very much not quite where you want it to be.
And that's Acorn and Edgy sitting on top of the blimp, being that nuisance as Cold and Sensen. They have to rotate right back in the way they came from. See if it's gonna make it happen. They're actually taking some elevation right now. This could be huge. Oh.
Very interesting for them to go up to high ground here. This is such a risk, right? But of course, we never really know. They want some of that loot. Look at that. They get to the vault. They steal some leftover loot. That's going to be a huge situation here. Meanwhile, Muzz and Looter. You get to see a replay here. Remember, this is up against Smite and Larson, and Muzz turns this around. Third place, Smite and Larson now effectively dropped.
Yeah, for them, though, you got to give them credit. 128 points on the day. They've done wonders. And now they get to sit back, relax, collect their thoughts, and plan for day number 2 while everybody else is kind of going through this minefield of chaos, which is game number 6. And like I said, from game number 1, where you have 95 players alive when Storm Surge activated, the lobby is now feeling themselves out. They're feeling a little bit more comfortable to try to attack in these moments. Tripper to Thomas sitting on top of the blimp, just trying to get the Storm Surge, so that way when they do find another rotation, eventually it's going to be their focus, where they don't have to go ahead and hunt the damage. They can go ahead and do exactly what they want when they want.
Let's take a look at Yumi and Cool here on the move. Some of our greats from NA West right now, they have really represented today.
They did.
They have found their moments.
I'm proud.
They've caught their highlights.
Panda's probably proud of the crowd too.
Oh yeah.
Cold and Sentin now changing their rotation yet again. Don't want to go to Acorn and Edgy anymore. They got the heals that they wanted out of the vault, and now they're trying to find another way around. And for them, they need scraps. They are in shambles right now, and there's another team right in front of them. They spotted them out, and that would have been a great sneak attempt coming out from Sentin and Cold, but now they have to think of plan B.
It's crazy. Cole gets caught out by Thomas HD. Thomas HD, Mr. 6,000 damage coming into game 6 here and adding to the chart here. Joe FN's going to be the victim of a few shots there, but not enough for Sentin to claw out of this tough situation he is in. Now, mind you, NA's third place Larson and Smite are down. Cold and Sentin were in 5th coming into this, and it's looking very, very grim now.
Yep, the only other NA East team in there is going to be Acorn and Edgy, who came into this game in 8th place, but in the distance. Sentin sees Fabs and Snack. He sees Joe and Z Andy trying to get his Storm Surge damage up while being in the storm without any heals, but luckily enough, his escape plan, you can already see it. It is going to be that launch pad.
He's playing a very dangerous game here. He's already been tagged for whites there. There it is. He doubles back now, protects himself as well. There's a med kit.
Okay.
He knew that.
Try to get Sentin's card, likely.
There it is. Okay. Time to med off. He will have enough time. Will he play for the reboot is the true question. We'll find out soon. On the other side, Zeet and KBR are still alive right now. 39 above. They're looking pretty solid. Zeddy finds Jamper in the feed. Peterbot goes down too. So that's had to be an Eastern edge zone rotate that just did not go their way.
Yeah, and that south side of the zone right now is just going to become so congested. You're going to have to figure out another way to try to rotate around as Chicho's trying to find some damage. Barely gets above the damage threshold. Gets a knock on the Rapid in the distance as well. And you see some other shots coming through. They know that that player is under pressure. Now the lobby is now taking hands to try to take him out all together. Bevies is now joining the fray along with Vortexers as well. Andalix has his back up against the wall. He's trying to survive. And Alex and Bailey are also rotating in. It's going to be such a hard way for him to try to survive.
This is such a tough spot to be in right now as it's all going down. Our 10th plate PH Zen looks like he falls in the feed there too. It's looking extremely desperate now for Brazil right now in this last game. Here's Booga on the other side of Anas and Pink's wall. They're gonna heal up. Eyes on Mirror and Booga, but no, they want to get out of here. This is a little too dicey for them now. Lopad's gonna get them right to the safe zone. Pretty decent. It's a great spot to be in right now. They're okay on the surge, but they could use a refresher here. Plenty of options up to be served as well. Hellfire looks like he found Avery. Hellfire was a solo in the zone way north as Commandment and Avery were pointing inwards, and look, Avery fully finished there. The surge possibly finishing the deal.
Yeah, that's not good. You can kind of see why they rotated out of Rave Cave, trying to third party some of those fights, but they ended up getting snuck on, which probably turned their entire story around as Booga and Miro trying to get in towards the zone. Focus of the lobby begins. Can Booga try to survive? 43 HP and a dream. Miro's there to try to alleviate some of the pressure, and it does look like it's going to stop.
That was tough. Very, very close right there. Usually when that happens, it's all over, but luckily the teams decided, nah, it's the last game. I can't burn all my resources if I cannot pick up the loot, so everyone slows down. For Taste and Chapix, they are very much comfortable right now. No pressure on them, but there's a lot of players in this vicinity here. Movement, little scarce.
Macwood over there, Pars and Rays surviving as well. Cammy and Seti trying to take that top spot back. You hear the analysts, they're having great games and then they're kind of having a little slip-ups here and there. But luckily for them, this is day number 1. As long as you keep it competitive, you'll be in the mix. And look at our top 4. Top 4 is all EU right now, Monster.
That is right. 21 points for Cammy and Seti to catch up to Vino and Queasy. But that top 3 is just European territory right now. Vino, Queasy, Thomas HD, Tripburn, and of course Cammy and Seti all fighting for that top 3 currently. It's what you expect. We've seen a lot of our community folk really put those 3 up in the standings and wait for them not to let down the fans, right?
I think Malabuka Mustache might be low on Storm Surge. Yet again, being one of the 3 teams over towards Cloudy Condos. Nobody really going at it off of spawn, but a team that doesn't have much to worry about. You saw them high at the top of the blip, Acorn and Edgy, almost 500 above. They're just picking and choosing their battles, trying to figure out what the right play is going to be.
And it does make you wonder, although Malabuka and Mustache are contested, being below the surges means that, hey, that first game was a wake-up call. We can't just go battle. Aqua and crew will just come in third party. But look at this. Fatch finds Malabuka there. That's a huge one, and now we get to see Ed and FaZe King's perspective here. King from Argentina, Ed from Brazil. Right here, right now, 2 elims already potentially going head-to-head against On1 in Baka. The young duos from NA West. No, the peak, the punishment. Down goes Baka.
Is this going to be able to get it, though? It doesn't look like in the minimap that they're going over. So, yeah, you are correct. He is going to get a second chance at life as On1 is placed in the top 10 in every FNCS final he has played in. Trying to put NA West on his back along with Yumi and Cool, Fabs and Snacky. So many top competitors in this tournament still, and this is only day number 1.
Jonathan Badil, 120 below, make it 60 now. They do need a little bit more damage. It's gonna continue to fluctuate. Vico finds Baka, down goes On1 as well. Vico just cleans that up. Meanwhile, Kanata and Macwood, they started off so hot, and now all of a sudden they are in a world of trouble here, surrounded by some of Europe's most dangerous here on this south side of the zone. But hey, they have time, they have plenty to work with here. It shouldn't get too sketchy just yet. If they can keep a low profile for a while, they'll survive to the next moving zone or the half in, half out reveal. Here's a look at 3rd, 4th, 5th. 6th and 7th are down, 5th is down.
Hey, that's a blessing for some and a curse for others. For the teams from 8th and below, this is their chance to really close the gap in the final game.
That's all of NA East out in game 6.
That hurts just a little bit. Just a little bit, but still got Acorn and Edgy still alive. Catching one on to Joe. Janice is going to be left as a solo. As Video does get knocked in that moment. That's Taze and that's Chapix that are hot on the heels. But pressure is coming from all sides for a lot of these teams. And even Macwood and Kanata are trying to put some shots on to Tayson and Chapix. You see Janice trying to break through. He is that solo that we were looking at. Trying to survive. Video finally goes down. Janice still knocking on the door. Storm Surge taking him down, but Tayson gets the last laugh.
And in the end, it's going to mean 4 eliminations for Tayson and Chapix. They absolutely needed it. They were slipping so far behind, well outside that top 20 bubble. Way to make a hero's effort push in game 6 to set yourself up for a good day 2, but they still have a long road in front of them. They have to close out this round. The zone is going to pull far northeast. It's on a little piece of a zone, so if you have that mountaintop just right there, you're going to be in a sound and strong position for Edgy and Acorn to be some of the last to jump on over. And we said we want to see Epic Whale and Reed. They're just above sitting down, so this might be their game. But first, Vino and Queasy have to show us why they're in the lead.
And they don't really have to do anything here. Look at the loot right now. They're on the edge of zone. They have some high ground. All these players flying through the sky. easy shots. You're just like serving it up on a silver platter for a team that has been playing this good, but only 7 damage below the threshold.
And let me tell you something, this is not bad for a team that lands north and then has this half in, half out pull north. It makes a big difference when you are already positioned there and this comes your way. Now they just have to worry about damage management and closing out this last game, but you can see Tripper and Thomas HD are there as well. They have that same story. They are very much close by. Here's our high ground kings, Reet an epic whale, the 6X, and of course Reet, a multi-FNCS winner himself, going head-to-head against Refsguard right now. They're starting to crank up, but Reet does not want to give it up, not just yet. He jumps down. This is what he does best, is take those fights, but no, plays a little smarter. He has to play for the end game.
And I saw Pink and Anas go down to Pars. He's finally starting to heat up. Tayson gets another one. Kanata as well. Refguard as a solo stole Hideaway from the TSM duo. That is absolutely insane right now. But you got to take note of where they actually landed, though. They still landed at a high enough layer so they can take it back at a moment's notice.
Just need to evaluate the situation. No need to burn material this early. Smart play. It's the best play. Vino with a huge tag there. Shield crack there. That's going to go ahead and get him a little excited. But Acorn and Edgy now revealed themselves to his layer as well. He's not too happy about that one. You see him back up just a second there. Meanwhile, Refsguard on high ground by himself, just looking down here, enjoying the view. But 130 damage is what he needs. He gets 4 tags. That's great, but not enough. Here comes the big drop, and he hits it. Okay, he stays in the game.
Almost seeing his life flash before his eyes, just a few centimeters in the wrong direction. He goes down, he goes out, but Queasy and Vino are trying to go up. They're trying to take the game by storm, and they get it, Monster. They got the high ground for now.
But it's not for free. They do have a duo on their heels. Who is it? It's Refsguard, who tried to fight for it, but he is not going to be successful this time around. High ground can get you one thing that we know for sure, and that's amazing placement if you can ride it out. When you're a solo like that, that was an excellent attempt. But now, back into the heat of things. Seti, Cammy, 2 Elims, another end game. And their biggest threat, Tripper and Thomas HD is alive. Acorn and Edgy, NAE's last hope potentially in this lobby, still in the run.
Saw threats go down to the bottom half of the map. That's Trulex and Chicho take him down. Kanata falls as well. Ed's gonna get one. Queasy Vino trying to go ahead and put themselves outward so they can continue that damage. Seats a solo, stuck at the outside of zone. 4 floppers to work with. The Siphon comes through onto Ed. This is an opportunity for him to pick out placement points while being outside of the zone.
Not only that, Clicks is still alive too, but here's Tayson. Tayson's gonna fall inside the storm now. It's up to Acorn and Edgy, making their way out the outskirts here. Look at the clean rotate here from Acorn. He is just exceptional, but we get to jump into Duke. 200 HP, now down to 72, make it less than that. It's not looking good. From 0 to hero, he's trying to claw his way into this. They find a player on the edge. No Elim there. Duke has to fight back, and down he goes, and it is all over. And once again, we might be seeing our first team who is setting up for a back-to-back.
Back-to-back, that is going to leave them with all the confidence in the world to end day 1 and go into day 2. They have 10 eliminations on Fico from the low ground. He's trying to have a comeback for the ages to close out day number 1. Shots on the Tripram, a huge amount of damage. He drops him down as well, but goes down altogether. Valiant effort by Fico.
It is a worst-case scenario for Thomas HD because his biggest threat is on high ground, but Reet is fighting back. Reet takes down Queasy on height. He is turning this around and trying to turn this into potentially a solo game. Meanwhile, Thomas finds Watts. Thomas is still alive, and Reet falls there in the end. Look at Thomas holding the low ground. Chicho's right next to him. Trulix hurts him too, but Vino has the grip of height. Acorn waiting on the side. Out of builds, he's gonna have to come down too. It's all over. The gas tank is empty. Down he goes, and now off to Seti.
It's Cammy and Seti, the only duo left, and they find another one. Vino trying to put wonders. 1v2 situation. What can he do here to take home the big prize and end with back-to-back victory royales to end the day? But a team looking to take first place back. Cammy and Seti, and they try to steal it away by getting that VR to end game 6.
And they get the first game. They get the last game of day 1. What a story for Cammy and Seti. Becoming Legends must be so proud right now of these players. They put in the hard work, they put in the effort, and wait to watch it pay off.
That is huge for them because they're not like a lot of these other teams who are consistently fighting to get to the top of the leaderboard. They play their play style through and through, from the drop spot all the way to the end game. They're one of the few teams, time and time again, that has their own spot. They call it the Cammy split, and it works out every single season.
And now they get to take that victory lap to center stage, where they will be greeted by Adam Savage for a quick update. And Adam, please tell me how they do it.
Right now, they're looking mighty fine. Give it up for Cammy and City! GG's, boys! 2 victory royales out of 6 games. A FNCS Invitational. That must feel amazing.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
It's really amazing. Talk us through, you saw there that we had Queasy and Vino on the high ground. We saw Queasy went down, Vino was solo. When you saw that happen, was there an opportunity for you guys to get your way in and win that game?
Yeah, but we didn't want to take the high ground because we wanted to get more kills on low ground. That's why we stayed low. And
Gotcha.
Yeah.
In terms of today and the 6 games, has it played out as you both thought coming into this, or have things been very different?
Like, we died 2 games to Surge. Like, we planned everything differently, but it didn't went as we planned it.
We just adapted. I think we just adapted well, and going into tomorrow, we're gonna be more confident and more prepared. So yeah.
Talking of preparation for tomorrow, what do you do now? Do you go back and review VODs? Do you kind of work on strategy, or do you relax?
Like, I think relax and VOD review.
Tomorrow, a big day, 6 more games. Could Cammy and Seti go all the way and win FNCS Invitational?
Of course.
Of course they go. Give it up for Cammy and Seti! Your game 6 winners! Let's go back to Zeke and the gang. Jinquin.
I may